If let's just say we had a different president in the United States. It wasn't Obama, who likes to throw religious stuff out. He likes to throw a bone to the believers a lot.
Sure.
He is a believer himself.
Okay.
What if it was an atheist and he said, a president went in front of the press and basically said, this has nothing to do with God. This is the thanks of scientific advancement and the people who put their heads together and did this. We want to thank all of the regular people who did this, and that, praying didn't do any of this. What would the reaction be to the president saying that?
Oh, we already kind of saw a little taste of what the reaction would be when, you remember the plane that had to land on the river? Mm-hmm. The pilot landed it and he didn't mention God at all. Yeah. And there was an uproar from people who were like, oh, how come he didn't mention God? Oh, it's terrible that he didn't mention. You know why he didn't mention God? Because he and his crew and the people working in the air traffic control towers did it all. They did it. They saved the plane. They saved all those asses in the plane seats. It had nothing to do with God.
Yeah.
If it was God, why did the wings ice up in the first place or whatever happened? I don't know. Did they hit a goose? What happened?
So, pushing God in speeches.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I haven't had any coffee today.
Okay. I can't tell.
Shut up, Mike.
Door-to-door evangelism. This is where you actually go to a stranger's house and try to convert them, totally uninvited, on a Saturday morning saying, hey, are you here to talk about Jesus? What if atheists did that? We don't do that.
Maybe we should.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
I used to work at a market research thing where you did phone surveys. My God, that much negativity coming back to you will drive you insane. You will snap. You'd be like falling down with Michael Douglas. Now, we're talking about actually seeking people out to convert them and change their minds. Not simply putting it out there. Like, we have a TV show. We broadcast it out. You can change the channel. We're not actually seeking you out to push it on you individually or even as a group.
Right.
We're not outside your churches yelling at you. You can change the channel. You can go away.
Right. You don't have to buy Richard Dawkins' books. You don't have to check them out from the library and read them.
Yeah.
The option's there if you're interested, but he's not like making you do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the same thing if Rick Warren writes a book. He's not pushing that on me because I can choose not to read it.
He's not like throwing it through the window of your living room and shatters your glass and, oh, the God delusion, what's this?
Yeah, we're not taking anything.
Damn you, Dawkins! Sorry. Okay, moving on.
But yeah, we're simply advertising, and people can come to us. Asserting our existence is the basic thing. We're part of the conversation. And all of these people, even the most vocal atheists out there, don't do any of this sort of stuff. They don't actually try to actively change somebody's minds or pass laws or straight out cut people's heads off, go to straight outright overt brutality. We don't do that.
We don't.
We don't. I mean, and they were saying that he's the same as Pat Robertson, and Pat Robertson I would put in category 2, where incredibly loose definition of
category
militant.
2, like a code orange.
Code orange.
Maybe even a code yellow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bert rather than Ernie.
Wow.
Oh. Busting out with Sesame Street.
Moving on.
But yeah, let's talk about this terminology again. Militant. It's a use of force or violence, or even the force of law, I would say, if you want to use it incredibly loosely. I wouldn't call a Jehovah's Witness who comes to my door, I wouldn't call him a militant Christian. I wouldn't call somebody who, like a Mormon missionary, I wouldn't call that a militant Christian. I wouldn't call Rick Warren, with the exception of him trying to push laws. He's borderline militant only because of the pushing laws thing. But if all he did was speak, whatever. I think he's an ass.
Yeah, he's sharing an idiotic opinion, but he's not necessarily being militant.
So let's be honest there. Richard Dawkins is not militant. Sam Harris is not militant.
No.
Please stop applying these words unless you're going to use that same definition for Christians, which would mean most of them are militant on at least some level, where they're actually trying to push something.
Yeah.
That these people who really want to push their crap in public schools on our kids, that's far more militant and far more overt and proactive than anything Richard Dawkins does, anything Christopher Hitchens does. Being snarky is not militant. Being even angry sometimes is not militant, especially when you have something angry to be angry about. It's lunacy. So if we're gonna talk about this, let's talk about what would a militant atheist actually look like. If there was somebody who fit this category, what would they look like?
I would imagine probably doing property damage or attempting to hurt people in the name of getting the atheist message out there would be a good starting point. blowing up a car bomb somewhere.
Trying to make Bibles illegal.
Right, trying to make it illegal to worship as you see fit, trying to make it illegal for children to express any kind of religious belief in public school. Now,
Not
let's
led by
point out,
teachers.
the only thing that is rightly illegal in public school is prayer or other religious worship being led by teachers or mandated by the school. It's perfectly okay for kids to pray privately in school. It's perfectly okay for kids to wear a t-shirt that says, "I heart Jesus" in school. That's fine. That's fine in a public school. It's just an expression of opinion, of belief, whatever. A militant atheist, I would think, would be somebody who would try to overturn that, where they would be attempting to, silence someone's expression of their own beliefs, even if the expression of those beliefs didn't do any harm to anybody else.
And I think it's worth mentioning that we're talking about individual use of things, not talking
Yes.
about government does not have religious freedom.
Right.
Government is basically an artificial institution that is created to serve all of us. It is not created to be basically, Christianity is not a stick that government is allowed to hit us with.
Right.
Just the same way as atheism isn't. And we're not supposed to take any religious stand. We're talking about total neutrality. So a militant atheist would be somebody who's shot up a Sunday school. It would be somebody that's actively trying to incite violence against religious believers.
Right.
Somebody who's trying to have them jailed or locked up or shipped off to camps.
And that's really, for me, I think the really important point is what you said about someone who's trying to incite others to do something that supports that individual's belief. So, for example, if Richard Dawkins were doing something like encouraging other atheists to go out and beat up Christians and to say, "I'm an atheist, I beat you up, you crappy Christian, and Richard Dawkins rules," and runs away, then yes, Richard Dawkins would be a militant atheist. He was inciting people to do violence or to attack others or oppress others in his name. And that's exactly what militancy is all about.
And I think in the end, what it really comes down to for me is, wouldn't the world be a better place if the worst thing Osama bin Laden did was write a really controversial book and give lectures that offended people?
Yeah.
Or he had a billboard campaign?
It would.
Rather than flying in the side of buildings?
Yeah. Anyway, we've got a caller on that note.
Hey.
Chad from Tacoma.
Hey, what have we
Hey,
got?
what's up?
Woo!
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad, how's it going?
Pretty splendid. You guys were mentioning the Jehovah's Witnesses earlier, and you guys probably heard about the recent issue of the Awake magazine, which was about atheism, particularly the new atheism. And one of the first sentences in the thing is talking about they're not content to keep their views to themselves, which, coming from the Jehovah's Witnesses, is brilliant.
That is a bit of the old irony from the Jehovah's Witnesses, isn't it?
Oh, that's
amazing. But the thing about the word, this sort of thing, and Christians and other people using the word militant is this kind of like blindness to oneself, one's own actions basically is kind of common.
Yeah.
It is. It's
And,
very common. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's true because they're acting on behalf of some sort of universal revealed truth, and other people are just liars.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah,
different
true.
set of rules when you're dealing with your own, truth. Like, oh, well, they're just wrong, and I'm right.
Yeah, right.
Therefore, it justifies what I'm doing.
There's there's no reason to be self-critical when you have enlightenment,
Exactly.
absolute certainty.
Yeah, when you have a direct line to sort of ineffable, inerrant truth.
Yeah. When you know you're right because the Bible says so, then you're right. Yeah. Good point.
That's great. Thank
But
you.
I hadn't heard that line from the magazine. That is pretty funny.
I love
Yeah,
that.
check it out. PZ Myers was totally all over it. If you look through Frangula.
I've got to check
archival
it out.
map.
I haven't read Fringula for a few weeks, I'm sorry to say. But I
I
used to
do
read it
love it.
religiously, if you'll pardon the
I'm a little behind on my
turn of
blog
phrase.
roll myself.
I think
a
that's
lot of reading.
That's pretty hilarious, though, because essentially the Jehovah's Witness saying that it's weird because if they were as vocal and as active and proactive as Richard Dawkins and the New Atheist movement, they'd actually have to downgrade
Yeah.
their own ability to reach out and grab at strangers.
Yeah.
No kidding. I mean that
I'll
is
tell you
really
what, man.
funny coming from Jehovah's Witnesses, like, who are so well known for going door to door and proselytizing.
I was actually raised a Jehovah's Witness.
Were you?
And,
I'm very
the
sorry.
level of organization, it really is like a sophisticated marketing and sales
It
funnel.
is.
Like they document
Amway
who they talk
with
to,
Yeah.
Jesus.
what they talked about, what literature's been played.
Yep.
It's messed up. There's like little like sales meetings before you go out door to door. They organize everything. Is very
Wow.
sophisticated. And then and then these guys are like, well, these other the atheists can't keep their views to themselves.
They're not content to keep it quiet
Hilarious.
anymore. Nope. We've got a public access show in your face, Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Witness this, Jehovah.
Yeah.
All right, dudes. Well, thanks for BSing with me for a
Thanks,
second.
Chad.
Thank you, Chad.
All right.
Bye.
It goes back to that double standard.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, Chad's absolutely right. It's like people are so blind to the fact, it's like we want to talk about how Christians for the longest time with impunity have been able to just walk around swinging their arms wildly and they hit people all the time, and then you say, look, listen, no, you don't have the right to hit me. And oh, how dare you take my rights away?
Yeah.
How dare? It's like, no, I assert my right to not get punched in the face, even on accident by somebody.
Yes. And I assert your right, viewers, to drink beer. And that's why I'm going to tell you right now, as per the directions of our floor director, that we are going to be meeting up at the Ram today at 4:30 at Northgate Mall, right? Is that the one we're going to? Or is it
yes,
the University?
Northgate.
Okay, Northgate Mall Ram, 4:30 p.m. Come down, say hi, talk to us, say hello. I won't be there because I have to go take care of my mom's dog who has diarrhea. But
that may have been a bit
else
much.
Will be.
See, I don't know if I'm going to be eating now, too.
Was that an overshare? I'm sorry. I recommend the poutine. It's fabulous.
I recommend a banana for that dog.
He's got problems. Anyway, come see us at the Ram. We love it when people come out and talk to us and hang out afterwards. You don't have to be an atheist. Just come down if you want to say hello and talk.
But not if you want to come and be militant, so to speak. If
Yeah.
you want to scream at us or yell at us.
Please don't be militant on us because we're just the nicest people in the world.
If you want a conversation, great. But if you want to scream, not so much.
Mike will talk to you about comic books. It'll be fabulous.
It will be fabulous, and comic books are fabulous.
Well, on that note, we have 2 more minutes. What are we going to talk about?
Well, I think we can talk a bit more about the double standard that we have.
Let's talk about the double standard that we have.
Again, it comes down to why is the bar so low for atheists when Christians basically can be pushing their stuff outright in schools?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it goes back to us being a novelty still. We're still new enough at being vocal and out there and kind of making ourselves a normal part of regularly accepted society that we're new and scary, and it freaks people out.
Well, I think it's a lot like the sort of out movement in the gay rights movement,
Yeah.
which is that so much of diffusing a lot of the ideas is just getting people used to the idea that we exist.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a big part of it.
And of course, I'm sure as most of our viewers know, if you are an atheist and if you have followed the atheist community online over the last several years, Richard Dawkins started his OUT campaign, which was modeled on the OUT campaign of the gay rights movement, which is basically meant in the same way to just get people comfortable with the idea of saying, you know, here I am, I'm a part of your society, and I'm a regular person.
Yeah.
And I'm just like you.
I've noticed that's a big thing, is that when somebody has bigoted or prejudiced opinions, that is what cuts through it. That's what makes the impact. It isn't an argument. It isn't the perfect, it's not like you have apologism for reality.
Yeah.
It's just knowing somebody, actually having to apply stereotypes to a very real person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to. That's why we have this show. That's why the atheist movement exists, because we realized if we weren't going to talk on behalf of ourselves, other people were going to talk on our behalf.
Exactly.
And that can't happen.
That's
because
right.
Generally speaking, people don't say nice things about us otherwise.
We're here. We don't believe in God.
Get used to it. That's basically it. So we do want to thank you for watching us again on Ask an Atheist.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for bearing with me on my total caffeine crash.
And the incontinent dog.
Yes, I'm sorry I told you that, world.
I'm sorry you told us that too. Yeah, have a good one. See you next Sunday on Ask an Atheist.